trying to interact with our own students, our own students who have been with us for a long period of time and who have been so much involved with the entire process of learning. So let's quickly start this session. आज Friday है and Friday को ये जो नया initiative है हमारा, every Friday we will have a session called Learner of the Week, है ना? So the learner who's like literally putting in hard work for the preparation with us, with Unacademy, with my team, और जो continuously हमारे sessions में बने रहते हैं, उनके साथ एक सेशन हम एवरी फ्राइडे को करेंगे. आज मैं कर रहा हूँ, नेक्स्ट फ्राइडे को दूसरे अनअकैडमी के टॉप एडुकेटर आपके साथ इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे आपको किसी लर्नर के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हुए दिखेंगे. ऑन संडे वी विल हैव अ मोटिवेशन सेशन एंड Tuesday we will have a session with the toppers. So there is a whole lot of things in Unacademy Limitless, and today with us we have Ocean and Siddharath. So we'll start with Ocean. Hi Ocean, how are you doing?
Hello sir, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, Ocean. So what's your question today?
Sir, actually I have a lot of them, but to start with, I really wanted to know about, since I have started my preparation, it has been 4 months. So what should be the amount I should have reached by now? This is the first thing, so that I could analyze what I am actually doing. Is it sufficient or I should enhance that? So the second question is about newspaper reading. So what I do is I generally read 2 or 3 articles from the editorial and the rest important news, which you generally cover in your classes, and I generally go through them and whichever I find extra or so. So is it sufficient or should I go for the whole newspaper or should I mix and match things? So this is about the newspaper. And sir, the next is about my optional subject. So I have taken history as I told, and I have completed history once. So should I stop the revision of history right now and complete other subjects and then go for history since it's my optional as well? Or should I just revise history first and then only start the other subjects? So these are the basic doubts I have today. Yeah.
So I'll be picking one by one each of them. So first question is how much time you should devote. So how much time you should devote? You have been into preparation for how many months? 6?
Sir, January 15th of this year only.
Okay, January 15th of this year only. So it's been almost 4.5 months and you have been preparing. That's a pretty good time. And at this point of time, what you should focus at, because you are appearing in 2021, I assume. So if you are appearing in 2021, what you should do is like do not focus on number of hours. That is the principal idea. Number of hours should not be a concern. Keep that aside. What should be a matter of concern over here is what is the quantum of syllabus that you are going to cover before 10th or 15th of August. 10th or 15th of August, keep it as a watershed this day. And 10 या 15 अगस्त एक watershed बना लीजिए, because after that what you need to do is simply revise the text, revise the test papers that you have already done, and so whatever you need to read before 15th or 10th of August, or that includes your optional as well, है ना. तो number of hours ऐसा कुछ fix करने की जरूरत नहीं है, but yes, आप एक टारगेट सेट कर लीजिए कि till 10th of August or till 15th of August I have this much to read, including my optional, including main specific subject like ethics and all, है ना. So according to that target, distribute in a micro manner, and a micro manner means कि एक week में फिर how much I will have to cover, and accordingly in a day how much I should cover. That may take maybe 8 hours a day, that may even take maybe 9 or 9.5 hours. And if you have done a sincere nice job in last few months, so maybe it may take only 6 or 7 hours. So it depends, it is not same for all the aspirants. Number one, it varies according to what you have done in the last few months. It varies according to your concentration, आप कितना focus कर पाते हैं, कितना concentrate कर पाते हैं. तो काफी सारे factors हैं वहाँ पर जो determine करेंगे. Number two, it varies whether aspirant is working or he or she is devoting 100% time in preparation. तो इन सारे aspect पर depend करता है. As you are devoting your 100% time on preparation, so I guess you can devote much hours from that perspective. And another factor is कि आपका output क्या है, productivity क्या है. If your productivity is high, even if you read for less number of hours, that is okay. as far as the optional thing is concerned, whether you should do history optional right now, if like you think कि नहीं मैंने history पहले properly बहुत अच्छे से कर रखा है ना, तो you can devote more times to subjects that are less explored, है ना. Maybe हो सकता है जैसे आपने ethics properly नहीं किया हो, या IR या governance का कोई टॉपिक अच्छे से नहीं किया हो, तो जो मेन स्पेसिफिक ऐसे टॉपिक्स हैं, I would say कि rather उनको प्रायोरिटी अभी दीजिए, but do not take history optional on the back seat at this point, है ना. प्रायोरिटी फिक्सेशन करना जरूरी है कि लेट अस सी कि दिस इज अ एरिया व्हिच हैज बीन लेस एक्सप्लोर्ड, तो उस पर मैं ज्यादा फोकस करूं, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन एट ऑल कि आई इग्नोर द ऑप्शनल, है ना, और आई पुट द एक्चुअली नेवर एवर, है ना. पर्टिकुलरली ये जो चेंजिंग सर्कमस्टांस है, जो डेट एक्सटेंड हुआ है, रीशेड्यूलिंग हुई है, इसमें यू शुड नॉट इग्नोर ऑप्शनल एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, बिकॉज फिर प्री और मेंस के बीच में आपको कम टाइम मिलने वाला है, तो डू नॉट इग्नोर ऑप्शनल. But yes, matlab, you can give more time to the subjects that you have you think covered less. So that is another thing. And apart from that, you had one question regarding newspaper and current affairs. So even if you are reading 2 editorials from newspaper, whether it is the Hindu or it is the Indian Express, it is perfectly fine. If you are matlab, mixing it with my current affairs station, that is perfectly fine. You need not read anything other than that. That will be pretty much sufficient for mains as well as preliminary examination, and you will matlab, see this, है ना, when you appear into the examination this year, you'll find it, है ना? So you yourself will be telling how much beneficial were the sessions. Okay, so I'll come to Siddharth. Okay, like today we have Siddharth and Ocean. Next week maybe कोई और educator होंगे, Unacademy के दूसरे top educator होंगे, दूसरे learners होंगे, and also be consistent with the sessions, and be interactive in the sessions, and maybe next is anyone of you who is watching right now. Okay, so that now it's your turn. You may ask your questions. I'll come back to Ocean in a while. Seems like Siddharth has lost his connection. Ocean, in case you have any other question, you can ask.
Sir, as we discussed that I have completed 4.5 months of my preparation. Right now, I have done history, polity on my way, and so geography I have done, but I have not touched economics, ethics, and IR also midway, but economy is still untouched. So I would just like to ask that is this much okay for 4.5 months, that history completed, polity on almost completed, and geography completed, and answer writing started. So this is my status right now. So is it okay? Is it, or is it below the expectations?
It's not about whether it is below expectation at present. It's about, see, matlab, in the change circumstance, we need not focus on input. सबसे पहले input पे मत focus करो. Focus on कि what is the desired output that you want, because you have a really decent time, है ना. तो 4.5 months के बाद what is the output you want? मतलब output different तरह का हो सकता है. Like मतलब one possible output be that you will be performing above average in prelims, above average in mains. Another possibility may be कि above average in prelims but poor in mains. Third possibility can be कि poor in prelims but above average preparation हो जाए मेरा mains के point of view से, है ना. तो first let us decide कि what do we want at the end, है ना, and then accordingly हम अपना input decide कर सकते हैं. अभी जो level है उस पे output determination का there is no meaning, है ना. कोई it won't be much you know, it won't be a wise idea to determine कि अभी जिस इस level पे output कैसे है. So decide कि after 4.5 months what is the desired output, and accordingly plan the input at present. And as far as the subjects that you told me are concerned, so it's not a issue as far as I can see, particularly I have known you for past few months, and one thing over here is I would like to suggest please start doing economy first. जो subject आपके बच रहे हैं उनमें से economy को पहले कीजिए, because economy is one subject जिसमें आपको लास्ट मोमेंट रिवीजन की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. इकोनॉमी को पहले कर लीजिए. जो लास्ट मोमेंट रिवीजन वाले सब्जेक्ट्स हैं लाइक एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री है, मेडिवल है, साइंस एंड टेक है, वो आप फिर सेशन के एंड में मतलब प्रिपरेशन के.
So I am planning to start Mrinal sir's July batch. 15 July he's starting a batch. So that's why I'm waiting for economics.
That will be pretty good. Hi Siddharth, are you able to hear me?
Yes sir, audio.
Yes,
Okay,
Siddharth, please.
so next guy is clone.
So, how should I decide my priorities between static and current?
Okay, so like whenever it is about static versus current, and whenever you need to decide priority, so let us make it very clear. Other, if you are in the initial phase of preparation, मतलब I'm addressing this question considering कि बहुत सारे लोग इस session को देख रहे होंगे, and if anyone is in the initial phase of preparation, so at that point of time, I believe कि static should be given more weightage, and because static lays the foundation. If let's say मैं ऐसा क्यों कह रहा हूँ, मतलब many of student may think नहीं सर current affairs को शुरू से पढ़ना चाहिए, बिल्कुल पढ़ना चाहिए, no doubt, है ना. But if you need to prioritize between current affairs and static, I would rather suggest to, है ना, give more emphasis, give more priority to static portion. क्योंकि देखिए अगर आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़े वहाँ पे भी पॉलिटी से रिलेटेड कुछ चीजें होंगी, इकोनॉमी से रिलेटेड कुछ चीजें होंगी. इफ यू डू नॉट नो द बेसिक्स ऑफ पॉलिटी, यू डू नॉट नो द बेसिक्स ऑफ इकोनॉमी, है ना, you won't understand those current issues in its entirety. मतलब holistic एक understanding आपकी develop नहीं हो पाएगी. And that is the reason why I suggest नहीं, पहले static should be given more preference. But okay, when the examination is closer, है ना, current affairs should be given due weightage. And you cannot ignore current affairs because मतलब दो पर्पस है. एक तो एग्जामिनेशन में नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम करंट अफेयर्स आर प्रीटी मच डिसेंट. नंबर टू, करंट अफेयर्स हेल्प यू टू रिवाइज द स्टैटिक एरियाज एज वेल. फॉर एग्जांपल एंटी डिफेक्शन से रिलेटेड कुछ न्यूज़ है, फेडरलिज्म से रिलेटेड योजना का इशू आया है ना, तो दैट विल हेल्प यू रिवाइज द स्टैटिक पोर्शन एज वेल. तो करंट शुड बी यूज्ड पर्टिकुलरली बिफोर द एग्जामिनेशन. करंट शुड बी यूज्ड एज अ टूल टू रिवाइज द स्टैटिक पोर्शन, and as much as you can. So that is the idea. And I personally believe
I have
there is a
also
conflict between current and static. Right. Yes, Ocean, tell me.
So I have also observed that suppose like it happened yesterday only. I had read the tribunals chapter from Lakshmikant, and then in your master series you have just taken that how tribunals are important and what are the different tribunals have been opened for different purposes. So it's current and static simultaneously going on in two different areas. So what happens that my extra efforts on revisions get reduced when I just go through the currents after reading the statics. So yeah, I could
Perfect. That's
actually
pretty much
notice
the
it.
idea. That's the idea. कि current और static should be basically interlinked, है ना. मतलब they should not be seen in isolation. कि current is a different entity and static is a different entity. Until and unless you do not interlink, and until and unless you do not, you know, connect the dots between them, you won't be able to derive the maximum out of it. So that is the basic idea. Yes, Ocean, you said it.
Sir, next is that the test series thing. I'm really bad at attempting the test series, especially for the prelims one. I'm really bad. Like I hardly could score somewhere in like very below average, below like bad, I would rather say. But when it comes to mains, I always feel so confident because most of the time I see the questions even of this year and not this year, the year, last year. I feel okay. I will be able to write something. I have contents in my mind. But when I see prelims, like so, I really have this doubt that should I go on revising with this particular status or should I just focus on test series more? So, what is the time I should start my test series? And so there's a doubt because I generally get demoralized after doing a test series.
So there are two things. Most of the students actually see test series as मतलब a litmus test. This will determine whether my preparation is going right or not. है ना? That is a part of it. है ना? More importantly, particularly when it is about civil services preparation, test series is a medium to revise your preparation. है ना? अगर if someone is scoring less in tests, please understand that test series is not only an assessment. Test series is also a medium to revise. Like say टेस्ट सीरीज का एक शेड्यूल है ना, कि ऑन दिस डेट आई विल हैव दिस सब्जेक्ट और उसमें से ये वाला सेक्शन, ऑन दिस डेट आई विल हैव दिस सब्जेक्ट उसमें से ये वाला सेक्शन, है ना. तो दैट हेल्प्स यू रिवाइज दोस सेक्शंस, है ना. तो हैव दिस आइडिया वेरी मच क्लियर इन योर माइंड, नंबर 1. नंबर 2, जब भी लाइक लेट्स से यू हैव कवर्ड द पोर्शन, है ना, यू हैव अटेम्प्टेड द टेस्ट, तो टेस्ट सीरीज के जो ग्रे एरियाज है, टेक अ शीट, मे बी 2 or 3 शीट्स, है ना, राइट ऑन द टॉप टेक अवे शीट, है ना, दैट इज योर टेक अवे फ्रॉम द टेस्ट. जो भी पॉइंट्स आपको लगते हैं कि नहीं ये मुझे मे बी आई मिस्ड आउट या ये मुझे पता था बट फिर भी मैंने मिस इंटरप्रेट किया, तो नोट डाउन द पॉइंट्स, जॉट डाउन द पॉइंट्स, है ना. Attempting test is 50% work done. Only 50% work done. Unless and until you do not work on the gray areas, you do not analyze the test paper, nothing is done. So that once you do that complete analysis, you jot down the points, you take out the learnings out from there, and that is when you say, I have done this test paper. So whatever you do it wisely, it should bring some output. ऐसा नहीं कि I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. Okay, everyone says कि test series is important to test series दे दिया. Use test series as a tool to revise. For that one, you will have to cover that portion whenever it comes to sectional test. तो वो वाला section पढ़ के फिर आप sectional test दें randomly ना. That will help. Okay. So I hope
Yes, sir.
it was a good session. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. It's good.
Okay, so learners out there watching me on YouTube, we will have similar sessions every week, every Friday, in fact. And next week, some other learner will be here, some other educator from an academic side will be here, who will be interacting with all of you. And you will get a lot to learn, a lot to know, and a lot to add up into UPSC CSE preparation. So with this note, we'll say bye-bye today, and we'll meet on Sunday for Sunday's motivation, or weekday we will have a proper talk too. So we'll meet. Bye Ocean, bye Siddharath. All the best.
Right, sir. Thank you, sir.